Hey guys, what is up? Reese here. Today I'm bringing you a review of the alloy iPhone 5 case from Kustoms. I had one of these cases for my iPhone 4S for about a year, and then when I upgraded to the iPhone 5S, I had loved my case so much that I really wanted to purchase one for my new phone. So I'll kind of give you a review here of the pros and cons that I found of this case. It's obviously a unique looking and unique functioning case, and then also give you kind of a rundown of what's different between this case and the version for the iPhone 4 and 4S. If you've seen any of those, because there are multiple videos about the 4 and 4S cases on YouTube, but I couldn't find any about the 5 or 5S case, so I will go through kind of some of the main differences, what to look out for, all that stuff. So let's jump into it right now. Okay, the first major pro with this case is just the way it looks. It's got a really unique kind of industrial styling that I really enjoy, and it really sets my phone apart. You know, let's be honest, everyone and their dog has an iPhone, so anything you can do to kind of make yours unique is something at least I really enjoy. I get a ton of compliments on this case. A ton of people ask me, hey, where can I buy one of those? You know, I've never seen anything like that. And that's something that I really enjoy. It's got, like I said, an industrial design, so it makes your iPhone a little bit blocky, but I kind of like how that looks, and it still keeps the overall shape of the iPhone, and I like that it's pretty revealing. You can see a lot of the iPhone. I ended up going with the gold iPhone 5S. I just kind of liked how it looked, and so I went with the blue case to match it. It turns out it's kind of like a darker royal blue, and I think they were a great pairing because you can still see the gold, but the blue kind of tones it down so it doesn't look gaudy. It's not like flashy, but it's a nice color combination, so you can see that and you can really just see a lot of the phone. The other thing I really like about this case, and you might not know this from looking at it, but it actually offers really good impact protection. And when you think about it, you know, a lot of people who have iPhones, you'll see them with cracked screens, and what generally happens is they'll crack at the corners and kind of the crack will spread up. But the way this case is on top of the screen and not, you know, when you think of most cases, they'll come up the back and then the sides and then stop right there. And so if you drop it like face down or something, it could hit on a corner and then crack your screen. But the way that this works and actually covers a little bit of that glass front edge, it actually helps to protect it from impact. You know, I never went out to actually test my iPhone 4S case intentionally, but life happens, and I ended up dropping it more times than I would have preferred, and nothing ever happened to my phone. And I'm not talking, you know, I dropped it half a foot onto some grass. I would drop it from my pocket onto cement, and it was totally fine, which was really cool. It did end up getting a few scratches on the case, and so in a few places I had rubbed it down to bare metal, but that took a lot of effort. It wasn't just like, oh, you nick it and suddenly, you know, the finish is gone. It's a really durable finish, and it looked great. So I really like it for those aspects. So let's talk about some of the cons of this case. The first major con is the fact that the back is not protected. What that means is if you're rough on your phone, there is a chance that you could damage this back. Maybe it doesn't matter to you, you know, maybe you'll just be scratching it up, but there also is the chance, you know, if you drop it on something that maybe is really uneven, there's the chance that you could actually damage the back. So that's something to consider. You know, think about the way you use your phone. For me, it was a necessity to get a screen protector for the back, and you know, obviously screen protectors come with some annoyances. You can see there's a little air bubble up there that I haven't been able to get out. Overall, though, it wasn't that big of a deal. You know, I put one on. I'll maybe change it out in 6 months or so, but should be good to go for a while. Another annoyance is that dirt can build up, dirt and like dust and stuff can build up, especially it happens kind of in these channels on the side, specifically around the end caps. And so what I usually do is every month or every 2 months I will just take the case off and just kind of clean it. I'll just get like a little cloth and just kind of wipe it down. Usually it comes off right away. Had no troubles with anything like sticking, which is nice. Another thing that I noticed with this case is, so you've got this end cap down here. Let me see if I can kind of focus that a bit. So you've got this end cap down here, and here's your headphone jack. And there's not a lot of room around the headphone jack, which means some audio cables will not plug in nicely. Every pair of headphones I have works fine, but the audio input cable in my Bug just would not fit. It felt like it was fitting, but it wouldn't actually ever snap in. So I'd be driving and I'd hit a bump and suddenly it would pop out. So what I found to remedy that is I just went on to monoprice.com. I bought one of these adapters. I think it was like 57 cents before shipping, and shipping wasn't that expensive. I think I got the whole thing for like $3 maybe. So you just plug this in here, and this fits perfectly. And then now I can plug my any audio cable I want, and it will fit great. So I'll post a link to this product in the video description. And so that was a pretty quick and easy fix. The last thing to mention about this case is the fact that, most cases you just can snap on, snap off, super quick process. This case, however, this baby screws on. So you get a little Allen wrench with the case, and you actually have to go through the process. It takes a little while to put it on. It took me about a minute or so the first time just to kind of figure out how, because with this case, with these end caps, it's a little goofy to put it on. The old iPhone 4, iPhone 4S case was pretty straightforward, but it's no big deal. And so if you're the type of person who likes to switch out your case a lot, this is definitely something to consider because you'll be spending more time switching out. To me, that's not that big of a deal, but it might be to you. So that's about it as far as like the cons of this case go. Last thing real quick I wanted to touch on is some of the differences between this case and the case for the iPhone 4 or iPhone 4S from Kustom. So in case you have those cases and just are curious, the major difference between the cases is the fact that for the 4 and the 4S cases, they just have these little cylinders that go at each corner. And those are the only things that kind of go between the case and the phone. But on the 5S case, you have these end caps. There's one at the bottom and one at the top. The nice thing about these is they just help keep the phone a little more secure. You definitely, the one thing is now that you have to have a hole for the buttons, but for me that's been no big deal. It's not at all hard to get to this button. I talked about in the con section a way to get around this headphone jack being kind of restricting for some headphones. Accessing the cable, especially with this lightning port, is no problem at all. So that's the one main difference. And then the other difference, this is a difference between this and the iPhone 4S case. The iPhone 4 case does not have this difference. But on the 4S case, the back is significantly wider. It extends deeper into the phone. And so it just takes up a little more real estate. And also what that means is that instead of going above the camera, it actually extended about a little below the camera and then just had a cutout for the camera. Personally, I like the way that they did this because those extra millimeters didn't really add much protection at all, and this is just gives you a little more room to see the phone. It's no big deal, but it's something. So yeah, that's about the main differences between the iPhone 4, 4S cases and the iPhone 5 case, other than obviously the size to fit with the iPhone 5 size. Well guys, that's about all I have for my review of the alloy iPhone 5 case from Kustoms. In conclusion, I'd just like to say I love this case. It's really great. I have had no problems with it. I mean, some of those cons were stuff that were a little annoying at first, but you learn to deal with them, and then it's really no sweat at all. If you want something that's unique, if you want something that's just a little bit fun and will make your phone stand out, I would definitely recommend this case. Check it out. I'll post a link to their website below, and thanks for watching, guys.